build is in a few hours, depending on when you don't listen to this little podcast.
Brad, I should publish an article explaining to people how they can see build or what they can expect.
Hopefully with their eyes.
It's like how
and ears.
Bloggers filled their nonsense hours with nothing.
Well, build is in a few hours for everybody listening, and so we'll have the recap. We'll be all the way tomorrow. But before we get into today's topics, you should make sure to pay attention to Fortran Alert Logic. I don't know why I'm doing this like Vanna White. Fortran Alert Logic offers the most comprehensive managed detection and response coverage for public cloud, software as a service, on-premises, and hybrid environments. To learn more about Alert Logic, visit alertlogic.com. Yep. Anyways, so build is in a little bit. It looked like Zach Bowden tweeted out. I didn't have time to validate, so take with a grain of salt, but I don't know why he would lie about this. It looked like they may have pulled the session where it was talking about building File Explorer with WinUI 3 potentially.
That's good. Why?
Because they can't pull it off? I don't know. I mean,
okay. Well, here's what I do know about it. And actually, you'll appreciate this because this factors into your job. The reason Microsoft, am I explaining this right? The reason that Microsoft had to replace the taskbar in Windows 11 was they couldn't do what they wanted. They wanted to move forward with it. The style of program they had to use was something called XAML Islands. They could combine new features with the old stuff that was in the taskbar. This was the solution, the way forward for people with legacy applications moving to like WinUI 2 or whatever it was at the time. And what they found was that it didn't work. And so they had to like redo XAML Islands internally just for them to make to do what they wanted. They were like, guys, we gotta, let's just start over. So now we have WinUI 3, the Windows App SDK. They start over from scratch. They cause all these functional regressions, as you know, leading to a lot of the good stuff in Start 11, yada yada yada. So this is what I know about the File Explorer stuff. They're doing the same thing to File Explorer, except now it's Windows App SDK. They're only doing part of the window over with this new thing. And they've had to contort it internally for their own uses because what they put out for the public doesn't work for what they want to do. So that might have something to do with it. In other words, how valuable would it be to say to developers, here's how we modernize an application using the technology that we put out into the world for you to use, and have to admit, actually, the thing we put out for you doesn't work for us, so we had to do something different, which is the thing which was almost exactly the reason I was going to watch this session. I was really curious why they were even talking about it, because all they could really communicate is what I just said. Like the thing that they gave to developers, third-party developers, is not meeting their own needs internally. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. Someone must have looked and said, guys, what is this? Like, I appreciate the transparency, but what you just admitted is the thing we give to other people does not work. But does not work for what we need to do. So that's my guess. Does that make sense?
Seems plausible to me. I mean, we know what they did with the taskbar. We know what they've done elsewhere across the UI. We also have a guess about where they're going based on their own leaked screenshots with Windows. And if they can't do that using WinUI, then it's like, why didn't you just call XAML Islands WinUI and just call it a day?
I don't know.
That's what they're using. So, yeah. Anyways, so build will happen. There's going to be obviously a lot of Azure stuff, a lot of back-end stuff.
You could expect a metric ton of AI. I think this is not, well, all you have to do is look at the sessions. I mean, you can see what, the basics, right? I mean, there will be specifics that we don't know about yet, but
yeah, the one thing, and I know we're not going to hear about it, is how they're actually going to, they do have some documentation about how they charge for tokens and everything else. It's basically the exact same way OpenAI does, because we all know why that is.
Right.
But we still have yet to hear them talk about how they're going to monetize everything else. Like, so there's there's OpenAI, there's GPT in Word, there's GPT in Teams, there's GPT and GPTs. Like, it's just GPTs all the way down. And to date, we don't know.
I've heard from sources it's going to be a hefty charge. Let's put it that way. And what I mean by that is you don't just get it as part of some subscription. You pay extra for it. And I think the price is going to surprise people. I was just thinking about this yesterday because I went to, I originally went to DALL-E to create an image for an article. And then I thought, I'll fire up Edge like no one ever does. And I'll use their little image creation tool, which is based on DALL-E. And one of the things I don't like about DALL-E that much is the image is always square. There's no way to change that. Now later you can kind of tell it to generate more off to the side, but I don't. It almost never does what I want it to do. Like if there's like a person on the left and blank space over here, and I'm like more blank space, it puts another person over here, and it's like that's not what I wanted. So I thought maybe the DALL-E based image creator tool in Ed will do what I want, and actually it did. It's a little bit it's more, I don't know, landscape orientation, whatever. It was okay. But as I was doing it, I thought to myself, DALL-E, they must be paying DALL-E for OpenAI for every one of those creations. Like they must be paying. Like this is Microsoft subsidizing this process. So the reason one would use that for now, at least, is it's free, right? Because on DALL-E, eventually you run out of credit or whatever, and you can buy more and make more. You wait until next week or whatever it is. And there's no limitation like that, to my knowledge, in Edge.
Right.
And man, it's like Daddy Warbucks has opened his wallet, and you can go shopping at the store. It's we don't know the true price of anything, I would say, in this country. Food, fuel, whatever it is. But when it comes to AI, there is literally no understanding of the vast cost of these transactions, or whatever you want to call these actions, or whatever they are.
Have you tried Midjourney?
No, but it's complicated to get into. I know it's like in Discord, and you have to.
So first off, you can do it for free. So you should try it and compare it, because it is light years ahead of DALL-E.
I signed up. I went. It's in my Discord. I just haven't.
Yeah. So all you got to do, I'll give you the cheapy how to do it. You have to go into their Discord chat room.
Yeah.
And there's chat. You have to open up the left panel. There's like chat rooms on the left, because you're a peasant and you're not paying for anything. Just click any one of them.
Okay.
And then you type /imagine. Like as soon as you type / like a prompt field comes up, you click imagine, and then you just type your prompt.
I'll bring it up now.
Yeah, we'll walk
it's
through
Discord,
this.
So I won't be able to do this until after we end the podcast, because it takes so long to start.
But here's the magic that you're going to need to know that's going to make your life better.
Okay.
So once you get into the correct chat room, where you can do a certain number of free per day or something, just like DALL-E, whatever. But after you type your prompt, do like 2 minus signs, 2 dashes, the letters AR, and then 16:9. So that's the
there you go.
That's the specific prompt to get 16:9 aspect ratio.
So I think the issue for me is I have to ask the person running this Mastodon instance to let this in or something. You
shouldn't have to.
Well, let me see. Hold on.
Unless they've put a blocker up.
Yeah, it says follow. I have to select where you want these up. I don't have a way. I don't have webhook permissions in any server you're in. I don't. Okay, so like I said, I ran into problems with this earlier, but this is, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, yes, I will say, from sort of a photorealistic standpoint, or like for those kind of fantasy painting looking things, I mean, the Midjourney stuff is kind of amazing.
Anyways, what else is going on at Build? So 2 days, we got that going on. We got
I think what's going to happen. Afternoon. Yeah, most of the news I think is dropping today, but there is some Windows stuff tomorrow. Which makes me wonder if they're holding out, for some. I find it hard to believe that they would announce all the Windows stuff today and then have a Windows kind of, at least partially Windows keynote tomorrow. But that makes me wonder if, I keep talking about this, but I wonder if there's going to be some hint of a Windows 12 kind of a thing, right? Or maybe something a little more explicit than a hint. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they would come out.
I know, but they rushed Windows 11 out so fast. I think this would solve the problem, right? I still stand by this. Windows 11 needed another year in the oven. And if they did that for Windows 12, there we go, So that's my hope, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice to have.
I just want them to do it right. I don't, this stuff where you don't let people provide feedback that impacts the product, it goes back to Windows 8. Like, let's not do that again. Well, they just did it again.
And so on that flavor of sort of whatever, they would have to announce it now, because if, let's say they're shipping it in October and they announce it in June, your feedback doesn't matter. At that point,
what I'm saying is announce it now and release it a year from October. Give it a year. Just let it sit there. I mean, Windows 10 was announced basically October 1st. It was like the very end of September 2014. and they shipped it in July the next year. It was pretty quick, but they listened to feedback. That was the point. They started the Insider program. That was the point. I feel like we took a giant step backward.
Yeah.
With Windows 11 in that regard. That's too bad.
I don't think we're going to hear about it, though.
You're probably right. It's a hope, not a belief. Like, if that makes sense. I just hope they do. I want them to do the right thing for this.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see. 2 days of keynotes, lots of AI, probably no monetization information.
They would be stupid to, if you want to slow down the AI steamroller there, talk about prices.
Yeah, that's
just, everything's in preview now. Let's get it in there like a tick, and then people won't want it taken away, and they'll get the sticker shock. And
I mean, if you don't think that this stuff's serious, Microsoft literally invested in a nuclear fusion reactor to try to power its data centers in the future.
Like a joke from The Simpsons. I mean, it's amazing. So
I mean, that is honestly, I wonder if like, man, we're using a lot of power. How can we solve this? Someone just yelled fusion, and then they found a startup that needed money that said they can do this in like 4 years. Which, hold on to your breath for that one.
In some dystopian future, like you flash forward 2 years, and Microsoft is the biggest consumer of like fossil fuels. Like they're going after like salt oil in the northern Canada somewhere. It's just. We'll see, but
yeah, we'll see. We will see tomorrow
and today.
Oh yeah, today. Jeez, I am all off. Yep.